Hi friends, how's it going? Push this button. Are things working? Things appear to be working. Is the music too loud? It's probably too loud, right? It's very quiet. Trying to dial it in, can't quite hit it. Okay, we're gonna call that good enough. Hi, it's me, Scott. It's a mess back there. Don't look back there. I got an Apple Watch, only because there was an outrageous deal. This is an offer I couldn't refuse. Do I like it? I don't know yet. Uncertain. Unclear. I want to do some Sudoku puzzles. I'm thinking some Sudoku puzzles by Blobz, the resident Sudoku setter. And so let's just do it. Let's go over here. I'm afraid I'm going to accidentally show stuff. You know how that goes. You know how that happens. Let's randomize some wallpaper. Don't like it. I don't know why I bother with this though, because we're not gonna. This is not irrelevant. It's not a bad photo. You like that? Okay. So I've not chosen a puzzle yet. So Blob sent over a few options. So there's two that Blob said like need some rating love, but also an unpublished one. So I'm gonna do the one that needs some rating love. I think Blobz deserves it. Cubes and square. Oh no, am I gonna regret this? I feel I'm just so bad on stream and off stream to a degree, but extra bad on stream at puzzles with like very basic like kindergarten arithmetic. I just I struggle, but we're gonna do it. We got cubes. This is where it gets rough. Squares I have a pretty good feeling of, like, powers of 2 would be no problem. My brain is wired for powers of 2. Squares a little bit less so. I mean, especially once we're like squares under 100 are fine. Cubes though, yikes. Digits and cages sum to either a perfect square or a perfect cube. Oh, interesting. So the twos, so they're going to sum to either a perfect square or a perfect cube. I kind of want to just like keep this handy. Just keep this as a little, helpful reference for the people at home. And by people at home, I mean me, because I'm at home. Audio appears to be. Let's just make sure everything's working on the stream. I think it's another big shot Sudoku streamer streaming. So, oh, there's a tomato. So how can I expect anyone to come to my stream? I don't. Now I'm a little bit afraid of this. We got a little bit of whispers, and then we have all of these cubes and squares. The single digit Kate. Well, let's just get in here. Why dilly dally? So we're gonna need to pick our wallpaper, right? Our background. So what do we want? I mean, cubes is easy. Everything is cubes. Like this whole site is cubes. We're gonna find thousands of cubes. So let's just pick a good cubes. These like flashy cubes. Kind of love that. But people don't seem to like the really frenetic ones. This looks very familiar. David Lobster did something a bit like that. I'm not moved, but I should have just picked one on the first page. Because once I start shopping for cubes, it's just not gonna. Kind of like this. But I don't love it. Hope everyone's doing well. Having a nice day or evening. Or night. Or dawn. Or dusk. Or gloaming. Or eventide. Or running out of words. Twilight. Got lots of words for evening. Or like, you know, dusky, sunsetty kinds of times. We've got a lot of words for that. This is... It's kind of nice. Look at this thing. Candy. Let's do this one. I don't love it, but it's just speaking to me somehow. Okay. I don't know. It's probably too much, but no one's here to stop me. So, each of these... Right. I'm going to keep our graphic handy here. Digits and cages sum to either a perfect square or a perfect cube. Unmarked cages have totals that can be either a square or a cube. Digits do not repeat in cages, and then whispers logic. So there are certainly some restrictions on all these single-digit cages, right? That sort of feels like a fruitful place to start. I mean, this one in particular is very limited. Because this is the perfect square. So this has to be 1, 4, or 9. And then all of these other ones could be cubes or squares. We don't know. Right? It can be either a square or a cube. So is that all the 1 digit? Appears to be. So those can be 1, 4, 9, or 8. Because those appear to be the only squares and cubes beneath. Is that true? Yeah, I think so. 1, 4, 9, 8, which is a pretty generous restriction, I would say. We can roll the 4 out of here, because it's in the middle of a whisper. So this is either 1, 4 with a 9 in the middle, and it's actually makes sense to think hard about this. This is 1, 4 with a 9 in the middle, or 8, 9 with a 1 in the middle. 1, 4 with a 9, or 8, 9 with a 1. So that's not an 8. So that is a 1 or a 9. That, I believe that is true. Because if this was 1, 4, this would have to be 9. If this is 8, 9, we already ruled the 4 out because it's can't have 2 of those digits. So that's exciting. Now what? So we don't know the polarity of this. We don't know the polarity of this. 2 digits summing to a perfect square. So the sum of this can only be 4, 9, or 16. But there's so many ways to make 9 2 digits that doesn't feel immediately fruitful. 4 digits. So a 2-digit 2 is not very exciting. That's not... A 2-digit... Sorry, a 2-digit 2, meaning a two digits that sum to a square, mean 1, 4, 9, and there's just so many ways to make 9 in 2 digits. However, the only cube or cubes 2 digits could only ever sum to 8. Is that a true statement? That if you have 2 digits, you have to sum to, it's certainly not a 1, and it's certainly not a 27. So 8 is the only option here and here. Which is kind of interesting. Skojo, how's it going? How's your weekend? These 2s, I mean, these could both be 9s. That would be very easy. But 8 is not a terrific restriction. Yes, it is, actually. It's a great restriction. That means one of these is a 7, 1. No, I'm sorry. There's still 3 options. We have as an 8 and 2 digits is 7, 1, 2, 6, or 3, 5. There's no 4. So there's definitely not a 4 in either of these. 4 being a perfect square could appear here. Or 4 could live with a 9. Feels like there's something knowable there that is not immediately speaking to me. Is it I'm gonna say that's a bummer. Actually, I didn't even really consider that. These perfect squares, this could be a 16 even, right? Not just 4 and 4, 9, but these two. This could be a 7, 9. Because I was going to ask where the 9 could go in here, because I don't think we can have a 9 here or here. We could certainly have a 9 here, but I think unfortunately we can have 7, 9 because these could be 16. I'm very bad at this kind of puzzle. Okay, well, that feels less inviting. There's no 8. Sorry, I don't think there's any 4s in here. So there's no 9s in here. And there's no 4s in here. And there's also no 8s in here. So I'm going to say Ivory. Wait, Ivory LGC? Is that right? Or is that Ivory IGC? It's hard to tell with the typeface. The ambiguity between capital I's and lowercase l's. It's heartbreaking. Welcome. How's it going? I'm just here doing a bad job with this puzzle. So the thing I was just thinking about is what is not really allowed to be, because I feel fairly confident that these cube cages are 8s. I mean, with the lowest 3 cubes being 1, 8, and 27, these are not 1 and they're not 27. So I believe both of these need to sum to 8. Meaning 8 is not, the number 8, the digit 8, is not in either of these cages. So 8 must be in one of these. And 8 is not going to sum to a 16 ever. It's not going to sum to a 25 in just this configuration. It's not going to sum to a 1, 2, or 4. So that the 8, so one of these is 8, 1. I feel fairly comfortable saying. So like one of these, this is a weird way to pencil mark this, but I think one of those is 8, 1. So we're going to remove 1 from here. Ivory LGC? What's LGC? What could it mean? That feels like a reasonable statement, I think. Anything else we can do that with? Because that feels fun. We know there's no 8s. Okay, what is not in these cages with certainty? Oh, Groctillion, hello. Oh, is the G, I see. Hello, how's it going? I'm glad you could join. Oh no, you're gonna see me stumble through this puzzle. I'm extremely bad at like basic arithmetic puzzles in a way that I find embarrassing, but here we are. So kind of talking about what I feel confident that both of these need to sum to 8. I hope that's true. That means we will never have a 4 in 2 digits. We will never have an 8, and we will never have a 9. So 4, 8, and 9 are certainly not inside here. If there is a 9 here, so we've kind of got to decide how this is going to go, because this is 4 or 9. So we're sort of deciding who is not going to live in. That's a good way to think of this, I think. Oh no. That I feel like you gave me a glimpse into the future of if I have to solve that puzzle. Have to. It's not. It's never a have to. It's a pleasure to solve Blobz puzzles. Here's what I'm going to say. The sister digit of this 4, 9 is not in here. One of these is certainly a 4, 8. So one of them is a 4x or a 9x, right? So what that would mean is the following thing. It would mean that either Oh, well, I think I know the answer. We've removed 1 from here. Right? 1 is no longer in these. So we've removed, if there's no 1 in those, 7 is not an option. So now that we know that 4, 9, 8, and 7, when I've solved every Blobz puzzle, I don't think it'll happen. Blobz has like 200 years of puzzles queued up. I just don't. I still need to solve, I want to solve every willpower puzzle, every Blobz puzzle, maybe every J.W. Sinclair puzzle, and then maybe at some point I'll try to solve every Scojo puzzle, but I feel Scojo puzzles are... I need it. Scojo, do you have a list somewhere that's like a list of the ones you call approachable? Because I feel like those are the ones that are... I do think, it's funny, I don't know, there is that thing, if I can get a foothold in a puzzle, even if it takes me 2 hours, I still really do enjoy it. It's just very hard for me to do that on stream. Okay, I don't think there's a 7 in here. I think there's absolutely a 7 out here. It's not in here. And if there is a 7 out here, 7 plus 4 is not a cubey number. It just isn't. So I think I'm prepared to say that one of these is 1, 8, and one of these is 9, 7, summing to 16, and that this is a 4. Does that feel like a reasonable thing to say? Is that a true statement? I feel reasonably confident in that. Just want to run through the logic one more time, sorry. These cages, I feel very confident need to sum to 8. So 4, 8, and 9 are not available. Having an 8 in one of these eats the 1 from here, meaning the 7 is not going to go in there. The 7 is not in here, so 7's got to go in here. So I need something to add to 7, and that something is a 4 or 9 to make a perfect cube. So I think I'm going to say that. I think one of these is a 1, 8, and I think one of them is a 7, 9, something to 16. So one of them is a 9, which is certainly a perfect square. One of them is a 16, which is certainly a perfect square. This is the 4, and so we are left with 2 ways to make 8. So one of those is 6, 3. That's not true at all. I'm sorry. One of those is 6, 2. One of those is 5, 3. This song, I don't like it. Get out of here. Go to the Starlight Dinner. Sounds better. Okay. So that felt terrific, except we didn't quite narrow things down as aggressively. We weirdly know a lot of pairs in here. We just don't know where those pairs live, right? We know that the composition of these is there's a 1, 7 and an 8, 9 and a 6, 2 and a 5, 3. We're just not certain at this moment where those digits reside in the world. We don't even know the polarity here. Or do we? I don't know, actually. Just trying to think of if there were implications about like the 7 needing to go next to a 1 or 2 based on the other things we placed, but that doesn't feel as doesn't feel tight enough yet. This fellow is a little interesting. It's a high digit and a low digit, which is a little bit limiting, but not that limiting. Could certainly still be a 9, because it could be a 7 and a 2. And it could be an 8, because it could be a 7 and a 1. Is that the only thing that could be? Wait a minute, let me pull out my handy graphic here. A high digit plus a low digit must equal a perfect square or a perfect cube. This is not a low digit plus a high digit. This is, because it could be 7 plus 1 or 6 plus 2. This is not. This is not. This is not. This is, because it could be 6 plus 3 or 7 plus 2 or 8 plus 1. There's many options here. So which is annoying. There's kind of too many options if it's a square and it's a 9. We know there's a 5 up here. I don't know if that's interesting to anyone, but it does appear to be true. Is there anything super meaningful from that? We think the options are an 8, which is 6-2 or 7-1, or a 9. Oh, wait. Oh, of course, but it's not a German whisper. So, sorry, we're a bit more limited than that. If it is an 8, it's certainly not a 6-2, because 6 would have to go next to a 1. But if it was an 8, a 7-1 would be allowed. If it was a 9, a 6-3 would not be allowed, but a 7-2 or an 8-1 would be allowed. That's sort of okay. So what did I say? I said that if this was an 8, the only way that could happen is a 7-2. Is that true? We have to have a high and a low. If we had a 6, it would have to go next to a 1. So 6... No, I'm sorry. Good grief. 7-1. Good grief. 6-2 is not available. 5-3 is obviously not. 7-1. And if it is a 9, it is certainly not a 6-3, but a 7-2 is valid. And an 8-1 is valid. So we get a 1-2-7-8. Which doesn't immediately feel amazing. If this is a 7, then this is a 1-2 pair, right? 7s can only live in the middle of a 1-2 pair, which seems plausible. If it's an 8, then, well, actually, it's funny. If it's an 8, it's also a 1-2 pair because that's just all that's available. If this is a 1, you can have some combination of 7, 8, 9. And if it's a 2, you can still have some combination of 7, 8, 9. So I don't immediately see what to do with that. I do see that we are lacking 5, obviously, as expected on German Whispers. We are also lacking 6 and 3. We still have like 1 digit too many. So it feels like we really need to think about maybe these are going to peek into this. Just realizing how few of these are actually labeled, which is all daunting. I don't like this song either. I feel like we're getting a bad mix today. The free tier of Pretzel Rocks no longer allows you to choose your playlist, which is a tragedy. I feel like the candy shader is not doing super well at this moment. I saw a tomato fly here, which probably means that I probably did my classic maneuver of thinking some logic through like 92% and not just finishing the logic. So let's try this again. If this is a 7 or if this is a high digit, there's certainly a 1 here, and that's a 9. If in the middle, if this is a high digit, then this has to be a 1-2 pair, and that's a 9. But couldn't this just be a 2? In this some high digit, Sorry, I feel like I'm not seeing the... I mean, there's hundreds of 7s and 8s and 9s going on over here that I'm sure there's some implication there that I'm just kind of missing. If this is 1, this is an 8-9 pair.
I don't know what y'all think, but I think that's pretty.
Sure, I'm missing something extremely obvious. This is a 1. This is an 8-9 pair. And if this is a 9, it's a 1-4 pair. Ah. So there's never a 1 here. Is that what we're learning? If this is a 1, this is 8-9. And if this is a 9, this is 1-4. So actually 8 and 9 are spoken for here, I guess is what we're saying, right? This is 9, this is 1-4. If this is 1, this is 8-9. So, sorry, there's no 1 here. And if there was, the reason we had a 1 was if
You guys are so good at that.
if it was a perfect, yeah, okay, actually, sorry, I'm going to mark those two things so I don't forget. So there's a 1 and 9 are spoken for, right? So I sort of want to redo this logic with that in mind. So the Blobz, how's it going? I'm stumbling all over your puzzle, surprising no one. Okay, but I think maybe I got a helpful tomato. So the doesn't that rule out this being a cube, right? Because it can't be 8. And we know it's composed of a high-low, but the 8 was only if it was a 6-2, which is not valid with German whispers. But now with the 1 being there, it's not 7-1. So I believe this is a 9. So this is a 9, because it's certainly not a 16, because that we couldn't do that with low-high. So I think it's a 9. And we said if it was a 9, it couldn't be 6-3 by whispers logic. Couldn't be 6-3 by whispers. Could be 7-2. Or could be 1-8, but we've ruled it. So this is 7-2. It is a 9 and it's a 7 and it's a 2. Is that what we're working on? Oh my gosh. It's it my have me articulate my extreme clumsiness. I will say something funny has happened, and this is not, I don't mean this as any form of criticism at all. So I feel like, you know, it's almost weird to say, I spent like several years watching Cracking the Cryptic videos religiously without actually ever solving any puzzles. I just really liked to watch Simon solve puzzles. And I've noticed now that I've started to, and he would always complain about, like, you know, people shouting at him, like knowing he was missing something obvious. And there's the meme about Simon where he will find the most complex logic but miss the most obvious Sudoku. But when I wasn't solving, I didn't have a concept of that. But I watched a video today where he solved, I think it was a Glipperal puzzle, where he was finding amazing things, but was just missing such tremendously obvious things. But that I understand. Like, I really understand, especially when you're streaming, that it's like, it makes total sense to me that you can miss completely obvious things while you're recording. And I guess he's not like live streaming where he's talking to people. I think he did do that exactly once, right? For a Fistamafel puzzle, but he wasn't interacting with the audience. Okay, is this a 2-7 pair? Is that what we have learned? So this is not a 7, which has some implication here that I now have totally forgotten. I've fully forgotten how we got here. This is a 9, right? If that's 2, these digits make no sense. Wait, so I'm sorry. What logic did I do here? No. It was one of these is 16. One of them is 8 plus 1 equals 9. And one of them is 16. I'm sorry. This is not a 7, so this is not a 9. And this is not a 7, so this is not a 9. So that puts 9 in the central column, which makes this a 1, which is a blue digit, as everyone knows, which does make this the 8-9 pair that everyone's been talking about, I think. Because those are the only one-digit high cubes or squares we have available. So we have a cube square pair now available to us. Blobz, how are you doing? So one of these, the 1 goes with an 8. And the 1 goes with an 8. So we get an 8-9 pair here, which makes a lot of sense. We rule the 1 out of here. We still don't know if it's a cube or a square, but that's okay. It's hip to be square. Who is that? Is that Huey Lewis? Who is hip to be square? Yes, Huey Lewis in the news, of course. How could I forget? It's hip to be square. Okay, so we have some insight at least to the composition of these, if not the placement, which is funny. Or we need the composition. I mean the order of them, but still not the placement. So what else have we learned? So we seem to have some triple up here. Oh, and we must know what it is, right? Because the 6 is not going to go here, because that'd be double 1. We need a 6, so this must be a 5-6 pair. And this must be some digit. Like a 3, which is very restrictive. A 3 in the middle like this, doesn't that just force an 8-9 pair? Is that true? Does that check out? Neither 5 nor 6 can go here, right? 6 would need a double 1. 5 can't be on a whisper. 3 immediately rules out 6 and 7, and these are both high digits. Ooh, I like that. I hope it's true. I guess we can do some more high digitness. 5, 6. I'm glad to have the 5 out of the way. The 5 is always the bane of my existence in German whispers puzzles, because I love to just think about the polarity, and 5 is just, it's on the fence. And the 7. Okay, well that's all very interesting. So now we know, what do we know? We haven't used the 5, the 6, the 3, or the what? The 4. One of these, I've already forgotten. But we decided both of these sum to 8. I believe we decided that. And so one of these is 5, 3, which will do some work here. And one of them is 6, 2. Maybe I'm just cranky or something. I feel like all of these songs, I normally never skip songs on these streams unless there's lyrics, but somehow these songs are just not working for me today. Okay, we do have an 8. Oh boy, this is where I'm like very worried about getting into these, honestly. I guess a 4-digit cage, what cubes are available to us? And what squares are available to us? Binary, how's it going? What background noise do you like? I was very, I don't know if I talked about this. I don't know if I want to talk about it. I'll talk about it. I felt very seen and validated when Apple in last year's iOS update added background noise as an accessibility option. I really liked that, just because that's important to me. Because I'm a very noise sensitive person, so like being able to just play noise is something I've done for years, but I've always needed like specialized apps. To have that like built into the OS was very validating. Okay, I'm sorry. Low frequency droning. I'm a fan of I like a gray noise or brown noise. White noise is garbage, which is interesting. Here's an interesting fact. Let me just get distracted for a second. White noise doesn't sound good to us, doesn't sound good to me, not because there's any problem with it but it's a problem with the attenuation of human hearing. White noise should sound perfectly uniform because it's perfect. It is uniformly distributed in sort of like the range of human hearing. All the frequencies we're able to hear, there's sort of uniform noise in all of those. But because our hearing is attenuated such that we have greater sensitivity at the high end, it sounds very high. So that's why white noise is like very high and hissy, even though it's not. It sounds like it's like weighted to the high end, but that's just the way our hearing works. And so the thing I like about gray noise and brown noise both, they're attenuated such that they match human hearing a little more accurately, which I find much more pleasant. Maybe I need to, it's funny, when I was in grad school, I was explaining to someone that I like to listen to brown noise or gray noise, which in New York was just a must for me because I was constantly overwhelmed by the noise. And he at first kind of like ridiculed me, and then a week later I caught him in pure data trying to find the exact noise attenuation of his ears. I do like I don't do it always. I used to do it more frequently. I did now. I had an app that would let you like mix noise with binaural beats, which, like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think binaural beats are real, but I'm also not going to tell you that I don't like them. It was like you could mix noise and binaural beats and like wind chimes or like water running, and so I used to listen to that. Wait, what did you get? Which Behringer did you get? Are you going to get into modular sense? Oh, a Behringer Model D. Got it. I have so far resisted getting into... Oh, that was a beautiful device. Look at that. Look at that machine. Look at that thing. I don't know why it's not loading. Love the look of it. There's a place here, know what it is called. Control Voltage, I'm sorry. It's a synthesizer store that has like a huge selection, in particular of modular synth. Oh my gosh, look at some of these things. Look at this stuff. I've so far resisted, but I'm such a sucker for knobs and dials. Ooh. I love the way modular synths look. I have no experience with them, but man, love the way they look. Look at that beautiful thing. That thing. Love it. Okay. Anyway, puzzles. We're doing puzzles. Pure data I was really into for a while, and now I found it inscrutable. It really is like a fall off the bicycle kind of thing. Okay, I'm sorry. What are we doing here? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. These cubes, 3-digit cubes. So cubes that are available to us that we can manage in 3 digits certainly do not include a 1. Certainly could include an 8. And do not include a 27. Is that right? In 3 digits, what are we going to be able to accomplish? 7 plus 8 plus 9 is only 24. So that's off the table. 3 digits very rarely sum up to 1. It's very rare. There's no repeats here because we're in a cage, so we need to make 8 in 3 digits. Which there are, 2 ways to do? Both of which require a 1? That's fair. I like it. I kind of miss pure data, but I don't know what to... I got so out of... There's a big shifting point from me in Audioland was switching purely to samples, and I don't necessarily miss it. I like left synthesis for sampling, and I feel like even if I got into synthesis, I would still use samples and just do like wavetable. Triggering samples is just... Yeah, as much as I love like the look and feel of knobs and dials, I've always been uncomfortable with it for whatever reason. Maybe I just need the machine. Maybe I just need to get a Model D in front of me and turn some knobs and dials. Or I just need to make one. I need one of my industrial taxidermy projects. Okay, you want a preview binary of this industrial taxidermy project I'm working on? Wait, I'll show you. Okay, sneak preview. Don't tell anybody. Current industrial taxidermy project. Got the circuit board ready. I just finished the little 3D printed bracket, and I'm so pleased with the fit of this this bracket. I'm just tickled by the perfection of this fit. It fits so perfectly in there. So good. So pleased with myself. Got some more work to do. I have to make okay, this is all a secret. I'm spoiling this, but I do need to. This is going to be an interesting one. This is, of course, it's industrial stuff, so it's all 24 volts, but I want it to be 5 volts. So I need to like take this bulb apart and rewire this bulb. I'm going to make this bulb into a 5-volt LED bulb. I've got it figured out. We're going to do it. It's no problem. Okay, no more spoilers. We have too many spoilers. But it's very slow progress around here. Okay, what are we doing? Sorry, someone's getting very impatient. Is this an 8? What cube could this be? You're not going to make 27 in 3 digits. You're not going to make 1 in 3 digits. I believe this is an 8. So 8s, as an 8, the options we have in 3 digits always include a 1. So in both of these cases, there's a 1 over here. Oh, I did the wrong thing. In both cases, there's a 1. Pardon me. And that 1 will always go with what? No, I want to be sure I'm telling the truth, actually. Yeah, 2, 3, 4 is 9. We always have a 1. And that 1, then we need, yeah, right. And then the remaining digits sum to 7. So it's 5, 2, or 3, 4. So there's a 1. A 1. Five, 2, 1, 5, 2, or 3, 4, which is also true here. There's no 6, meaning 6 is definitely down here. Is there more to be gleaned from this? I believe this is an 8, which is 1, 2, 5, or 1, 3, 4. It's both, isn't it? Meaning one of these is 1, 2, 5, and one of these is 1, 3, 4. Is that a true statement? Like I don't like if this was 1, 2, 5, how could I make this also 1, 2, 5? Where would I put the digits? I don't know. I don't think I'd put them anywhere. These 1s are going to knock 1s out of here as well. Is there more to be done with that? One of these absolutely has a 2 in it. The 3, 4 is a little more ambiguous. Because I've seen tomatoes flying all over the place. I'm obviously messing up. 1, 2, 5, and 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 5, and 1, 3, 4. They both have 1s. Ah! Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Okay. That's weird to see. I love that. I love this specific thing. It's weird to see it span boxes. Because I normally think of it as like a thing you look for in boxes. Like if I knew a 1 was here and I knew a 1 was here to push 1 up there. But there's absolutely the 1. I guess the simplest way to put it, but in both of these rows, the 1 is spoken for. Because there's absolutely a 1 in both of these. One of them is going to have a 2, but they both have 1. So this could never be a 1. I love that. Blobz. Love this stuff. That is going to place a 1 up here. What else did we learn? It's going to place a 7 up here. Blobz, you're a software developer by day. Is that true? Do I remember that correctly? Okay. Love it. Love that kind of stuff. Okay, so that Python and Java. Whoa. Yeah, you're Puzzle Batman. Python and Java. I'm just trying to guess your industry. If you just said Python, I maybe would guess like data science, because it seems like lots of data science is moving to Python. But Java just makes me think of like this. I don't know. This is gonna sound. I don't know what to say. Java makes me think of like antiquated enterprise software or something. Sorry if that seems rude. What field? Old finance. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, oh man, Java sounds like. It seems like anybody who even is thinking about Java now uses like one of the. What do people like now? Kotlin. Okay, so we know the nature of these, right? Because 7 we said goes with 9, 1 goes with 8. So we get some more. Scala and Kotlin, are those both? Am I remembering that wrong? Scala is one. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway. HP. What did you do at HP? Okay, that's exciting. Is that 8-9 pair? We got this business. Oh, you're still at HP. Is it enterprise? You're doing enterprise-y things? Oh, I hope you don't have to write drivers. So like Windows drivers. Are you saying like, man, printers? Oh boy. I was traumatized by printers at an early age, and then in undergrad, I like my work study was in the print lab, and I'm just forever. Most technology is bad, and most software is bad, but like consumer grade printers is almost like the dregs, and it's a low bar. Like most tech and most software is garbage, but man, printers are just whoa. Stunningly, shockingly bad. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm losing the thread a little bit. So we got a 1-8 here. We feel pretty good about thinking these are 8s. I kind of want a way to annotate that, but I don't have a brilliant plan on how to do so. We've got our 7s down here. We know that one of these. Do we know that? Yeah. One of these is a 5. Is that true to say? We've said one of these definitely contains a 2. One of these is a 1-2 pair. I think. One of these is a 1-2 pair, and one of them is a 1 with a 3 or 4. So one of these contains a 5. So there's no 5 down here? See, Scotia's got it figured out. That's the right combo. You've got like the game design aspects, but you also get to do physical things. I've been working on, speaking on escape rooms. This has nothing to do with an escape room other than it's like a silly mechanical thing, is that I had to build a, I'll drop it on the Discord. Do I have my phone in here? How do I not have my phone? It seems weird. Maybe I won't drop it on the Discord. Did I drop it on the Discord already? Anyway, I'm working on like, I have a job I'm helping with that is like a trophy case that needs a remote control lock. So I have like a RF, almost like key fob thing. It is a key fob actually, like a RF key fob like you'd open your car with, but you can use it to open the trophy case. And it's a pretty cool little solenoid setup that's also spring loaded, so you can just hit the button and it will kind of open. I like it. Yeah, that's fair. Opening an escape room, that's counterproductive. You don't want to open it. Okay. All right. Sorry. So getting so distracted. I believe that one of these is a 1-2 pair. And I believe that one of them is 1, 3, or 4 with the sister digit going in here. Does that tell me anything? Oh, God. We know the polarity of this. We could do that. This is a high digit, and this is a low. I'm sorry. This is a low digit, so this is a 2. This is a high digit, so this is a 7. I'm going to knock the 2 out of here, meaning one of these is certainly a 2. But I don't really know what to do with that. Yeah, it's smart. You could just leave it open as like a trick. People won't, you know, they'll be like, I don't know. Can I trust this? Okay, what's going on? We know the 1 is up here. 2 is in here. Is that true? No. 2 could be over here. 3 we don't really know. 4, 6, 7, and 8, 9 pair. I don't know. Wait, is there? Do you go to regional escape room conferences? Okay, what do we want to think about now? We have the polarity of this. This is all very exciting. Sorry, I'm very chatty. I'm losing the thread here. Wait. Does that make this a 1, 3, 4, 5 quadruple? 1, 3, 4, 5. I have to close my eye to make sure. 1, 3, 4, 5 quadruple. Right? So does that remove the 1 and the 4 here? And then make this a 2, 6 pair? Oh, no, sorry, not 2. There's a 2 right there. 6 and what? 7. 6, 7 pair. Is that true? Wait, or do you go to like a conference and you're all locked in the exhibit hall or something? Okay, so... But frustratingly, both of these are valid, right? 8 and 9, one's a cube and one's a square. They should make the escape room. You have to get in. You have to solve a puzzle to get in. It's a reverse escape room. You're only welcome at the conference if you can find your way inside. What does that mean? The 1's in a weird place. Wherever the 3, 4 is, one of these is going to be like, one of these is absolutely a 1, 2 pair with a 5 next to it. And the 2 is going to be up here and the 1 is going to be down here. I'm probably thinking about the wrong thing, but wherever the 2 is, there's a 1 and a 5. 2, 1, 5, and then there's going to be a 3, 4 pair and a 1 is what I think. So one of these is going to be a 3, 4 pair. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but there you go. I'm getting like these are daunting. Feeling daunted. Is that a term? Is that fair to escape the outside by going in? I love like my shining star in life is like physical computing, like hybrid, fabrication, mechanical technology devices are my favorite things to build. And I could imagine an escape room being a lovely place to build lots of weird mechanisms. But instead, I'm going to focus on Sudoku RTX. I'm going to build ray traced Sudoku. I was like entertaining the idea of building some. It would basically be a client, like some. What I would here's my insane idea. Are you ready? I would just keep Sudoku Pad as is, where all the logic actually is, but I would build a WebSocket connection. I would basically have anything that went in, like just a WebSocket connection that would just like send the state of the grid, basically. So I wouldn't have to actually write the Sudoku logic because Fen's has done all that work, but I could draw it. So it would be an alternate rendering engine for basically whatever markup describes the grid at this moment. Some data structure that represents. I mean, it's already SVG. It's already all there with all of the business. So basically, I wouldn't do any of the Sudoku logic. I would just build an interpreter for this that would do like 3D ray trace, maybe VR. I would thrive in which environment? Escape rooms or ray traced Sudoku? Because I feel like either is ripe for disruption. Okay, I'm sorry. What are we doing here? The 8 and the 9 inside these cages is a little bit of a tell, right? The maximum of this, again, is only 24. So we're pretty constrained here for what these can reasonably be. In both of these cases, one is going to have an 8 and one is going to have a 9. So the minimum one of these could be, for example, if this was 1, 2. So I'm just thinking of like which of these. Where's our chart? Wait, I want the chart. I've lost my chart. What seems reasonable for these 3 cages? Because 8 is not reasonable. And 9 is not reasonable. 27 is not reasonable, nor is 25. Does that mean that both of these sum to 16? Or am I not thinking this through properly? So these have an 8 or a 9 in them. So 1 and 8 and 1 and 4 and 9 are all off the table, right? But the maximum sum of these is 7, 8, 9, which is 24. So that rules out 27 and it rules out 25. So it would appear that both of these need to sum to 16. It really does. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if like a German whisper? Okay, I can't go deeply into this, but I've spent an absurd amount of my life over the last 2 months working on tech to generate tubes. And in fact, I had a job this summer that was also tube focused. This has been a very procedural tube year for me. The big difference though was the tubes I was working on this summer didn't have caps. The tubes I've been working on recently do have caps. So these rounded strokes, I've been working on building generative, dynamic, animating rounded strokes in 3D space. So in other words, I was born to do this. Okay, could this be anything other than 16? Is the question I guess I'm asking. Feels like these are both summing to 16. Tubular year. The job this summer was stressful. This job I'm doing now is a bit better. Most of the stress is just coming from me, just like feeling I'm not hacking it, you know? So it's been a very visual effects focused job. Like often my jobs are, even if I'm hired as a VFX artist or if I'm hired as a developer, end up being somewhere in the middle, like some balance of those two things. This one has primarily been VFX and then like supporting systems. Like some of them are pretty sophisticated, like that have complex sequencing and animation and stuff, but it's been demanding, but reasonably good, other than I just don't ever want clients. Okay, I'm going with 16. We're going with 16 here. I hope everybody's okay with that. That means we have 2 digits that sum. One of these is a 7, and one of these is an 8. Wherever the 9 is, we have 2 digits summing to 7, and wherever the 8 is, we have 2 digits summing to also 8. Is that, are we all happy with that assessment? Summing to the 7 with, oh, we don't know which is which though. That feels like a lot of pencil marking. They don't have ones, which is good. So we're trying to make an 8 and a 7 without a 1. So if it's a 7, it's definitely 5, 2, and 3, 4. And if it's an 8, that's just, I don't know that this feels like useful pencil marking. If it's 7, it's either 5, 2, oops, 5, 2, or 3, 4. If it's 8, 5, 2, or 3, 4. If it's 8, it's 5, 3, or 6, 2. And neither of those are 3. Does that mean I can rule things out from this side? I don't know. I feel nervous about doing that. There's so many digits in this column. There's thousands of digits in this column. Tens of thousands of digits. Is there anything else we could rule out of there? I don't know. Maybe that wasn't the most fruitful place. We know what these are, though. I feel like we know these are 16s. I don't really know how to mark that in a reasonable way, but I think we know that. We know that these are both 8s. We know that these are both 8s. Would it be helpful to, like... We don't really need these whisper colors, unless somehow this whisper polarity is going to communicate over here. But I'm going to get rid of our whisper coloring, I think. And try to say, like, things that sum to... These both sum to 16. And everyone knows that 16 is a dark green digit. Everyone knows that. These both sum to 8. And everyone knows that 8 is a light green digit because it's half of a dark digit. And that's just common knowledge. These both also sum to 8, which is light green. Those are 8s, those are 16s. We have no idea the nature of these. Well, maybe we could. There's a lot of... This whole box has stuff going on. It could be a thing we thought about. Definitely a 2 in here. Which is not helpful to anyone. Thinking about that just gave me a toothache. I feel like my tooth hurts now from thinking about that. What do we want to think about? These 4 cell digits? Or cages, sorry. 4 cell cages. 4 cell cages have a lot more optionality. Because they put us in the range of 10. I guess they don't have a tremendous amount more. Oh, there were I saw tomatoes in the corner of my eye, but I missed them all. I missed every one of them. But they seem to be focused on these 8 cages. So maybe I'll look at those in a second. But just to think a little bit about 4 cell. Okay, I'll look at this. I'll look at them. Toot sweet. Oh, I see something. Okay, I see something there. I was just going to say, on 4 cells, in 4 cells, it's a minimum 10, maximum 30, right? So in terms of cubes, that's only 27. In terms of squares, it's 16 and 25. So there's not a tremendous number of options here. Okay, sorry. I know that there's a 2 here or here. There's one thing I know, right? We've talked about this. One of these is a 1, 2 with a 5 in there. So this is not a 2. And this not being a 2 means this is not a 6. What else? What does that mean? It's not a 2, so it's not a 6 because we're trying to sum to 8. What does that mean? Can we go further than that? Do we know anything else? We know one of these is a 3, 4. So this is like a 2 paired up with a 3 or a 4. And so one of these is a 2, 5, and the other is some kind of 3, 4 business. Does that let us rule 3 out of here? I'm not convinced that it does. Let me think about that for 1 second. Like where the 1 goes. Where the 2 is, wherever the 2 is, it's 2, 2, 1, 5. So one of these is 2, 1, 5. Right? Gosh, sorry. I feel like that's true. One of these is definitely 1, 5, 2. And so it means, and that's where the 2 is spoken for there because the 2 is not here. So it's 2, and it can't, we have to have a 1, 1, 5. So that does rule these 5s out, right? Because we're saying the 5's definitely here. One of these is definitely a 2. The 5's definitely here. There's also no 5 in here. So one of these is a 2, 1, 5. Oh, and the other one's a 1. Is this a 1-2 pair? Is that what I'm struggling to see here? Is that true? One of these is 2 with 1 and 5, and one of these is a 1 with 3 and 4. Is that right? Uh-oh, are we having heat latency problems? Seems about right to me. It can really vary based on the video latency, unfortunately. Okay. Is this true? That's a 1-2 pair? Because it's 2, 1, 5, and 1, 3, 4. Feels reasonable. So what? Feels like there's like one more layer of conclusions that I'm not hitting. We're almost at 10 o'clock. We're about to switch to the nighttime voice. Can't believe I've already been doing this puzzle for an hour. Okay, Skojo is on board. That's what I look for, is Skojo approval. So, given that, what does that tell us about anything? I was hoping that would put some more pressure in here. We know that one of these is 6-2 and one of them is 5-3, but that still seems possible both ways, fortunately. Remove the 2 here, so remove the 6 here. Yeah. What else do we want to look at? We've looked at these. It's not very helpful, but we know this is 16. So we know quite a bit about it, even though there's a trillion digits in there. These are all 8s. Our 8-9 situation going on. One way or the other, we're going to have a little pressure on here, right? If this is 2-6, this is 3 or 4. It's 5-3. It's 4-6. In fact, if it's the one of these that is 5-3, one of these is definitely 5-3. And in the column where we have 5-3, we will definitely have a 4-6 pair. So it's going to be 5-3, 4-6. And the other one is going to be 6-2, 3-5. We're going to have 5-3-4-6 and 6-2, 3-5. Does that tell us anything about anything? I don't think so, because it's just so perfectly symmetrical at the moment. 5-3-4-6. And 6-2-3-5. And that's just going to fully determine what remaining digit is going to end up over here. And in one case, it's going to be a 4. And in the other case, it's going to be the 6. Is that true? No, the 6 is here. Where does that feel wrong? It feels like I screwed something up. It's the 3, I guess. Well, that changes sides. Okay. I don't know what to do. We know we need 1 and 7 outside here. Oh, that seemed very helpful. It feels like we got to start thinking of these other cages that are scaring me. But the lowest this could possibly be is 16, right? That's the lowest of our reasonable. Oh no, did I close my? Oh no, I think I closed the window. Oh no, I closed my window. That told me what things could be. Tragedy. It's 16, 25, or 27, right? So that's the truth in both of these cases. Okay, I see tomatoes flying. I'm clearly missing more things. What else am I missing? One of these is a 3-4 pair, and one of these is a 1-5 pair. What is that? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I saw the tomatoes, but what do the tomatoes mean? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to Texas in a week. I so do not want to. Do not want to. I saw Blobz say something very specific. I don't know if I want. It looked very specific. Blobz has lost patience with hens. I closed my eyes as soon as I saw that it seemed specific. Maybe it wasn't as specific as I thought it was. I did see something about a 4. Blobz has lost all patience. I get it. Okay, these big fellows. We know there's a 3-4 pair. A 1-2 pair. One of these is a 1-2 pair. And one of them is a 1 with a 3-4. See, Blobz is hanging on my... Blobz is just waiting for me to switch to nighttime voice. This is the thing. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. Let's just start with some very basic things. There's an 8-9 pair just glaring at this that has been staring there for hundreds of years. I don't like this song. What is with the music tonight? It was just extra bad. Why is it a problem? Okay, what was I doing? We were talking about this. This one for... Is it 2 with a 1? Or a 1 with a 3 or a 4? That were the 1-2 pair and that was the 4. I'm just curious about these. Like what this could reasonably be. It doesn't have a ton of options, right? Knowing that it doesn't have a 1 in it. What are the... what? It's not a 1. It's not a 4, because 4 would be 1 plus 3. So it could be a 9, or it could be a 16. Seem like two things it could be. It could be an 8. So these two digits sum, is that right? To 9, to 16, or to 8. And if it were 16, we of course would know that that is 7, 9, which is okay. 9, 16, or 8. Well, is the 3-cell one? Well, we don't know. I guess we don't know. Well... I'm sorry, Blobz. I'm choosing right now to ignore what looked like a very specific hint. I apologize. I'm just being stubborn. I didn't even read it. Maybe I'll get desperate soon and read it. So what I was just thinking about is like this 8-9 rules 8-9s out of all over the world over here. We have some sort of weird logic that seems to tell us that if there's an 8-9 in a 3-cell cage, it equals 16. I don't really remember why that was true. I don't know. I don't remember if it's always true or just because of the 1. I don't remember. We have to deal with, though, to deal with a 2, it needs to go somewhere in this world. A 5 has to go somewhere in this world. So that could be a 7 and 8. The problem is that 9s are just always, always thousands of digits add up to 9. It seems impossible. What does binary say? Well, we haven't necessarily lived the big, like, we don't know. Like, one of these is certainly large, for sure. This could still just be a 4. So we could still have one of the biggest digits. Oh, like hanging out in the world. You're right that 8, 9 is gone from there, but 8, 9 could be here, or here, or here. As far as what this sums to, who can even say? Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to think through this for a second. Just knowing that one of these is a 1, 2. The sum of these squares could be, you could still have a 9 and a 7 and a 5. So you could sum to 21 with the remaining digits, I think, is possible. Okay. We have to focus here. What are we focused on? I feel like we talked a lot about this and never actually made a deduction about like what's going to happen here. Where we have 6, 2. We're definitely, okay, I liked 5, 3 better. We're definitely going to have 5 and a 3. And that 5 and 3 is going to leave a 4 and a 6. 5 and 3 is going to leave a 4 and a 6. And the 6 and the 2 and the other 4 and 6 is going to leave a 3 and a 5. Oh, wait a minute. I feel like there's almost something to that, right? Just seeing what that means, like the oh, okay, I'm sorry. Either way, okay, wait a minute. 5 and 3 is gonna leave 4 and 6. But that's true in both cases. 5 and 3 means we're always going to have on one side 4 and 6. 4 up here, 6 down here is always the pairing. And 2 and 6 is always going to be 2 and 6, knowing that oh my gosh, why is this hurting my head so much? We're gonna have 4, 6 over here, and the other one is gonna be 5, 3. Always. And in either case, it's always 4 on the top and 6 on the bottom. Always. And 4 on the top and 6 on the bottom, and the other one is always 3 on the bottom, 5 on the top. Is that true? 4 on the top, 6 on the bottom, so there's never a 4 here. And the other way is always 3 on the bottom, 5 on the top, so there's never a 3 here. Is that right? And since one of these is, I don't know why that hurts my head so much. Oh, in this cage. I'll think about this cage soon. Like this cage is relatively limited, right? It can only be 4, 9, 16, or 8. We could probably think about that and reduce that more. Okay, wait, sorry, but I feel like we were on to something almost, right? Because now we have a 4, 5 pair. So we remove the 4s from here, we get a 1, 3 pair. Did I do that right? I hope I did that right. That felt right-ish. Oops, that's not what I meant to do at all. Okay, Blob says it looks good. That's all I want to hear. Okay. These sum to 8. Somebody once told me. 16, 8. So we have a 1-2 pair on one side of here and a 1-3 pair on the other side of here. Cool. Thumbs up. 6 pair. 8, 9 pair. 4, 5 pair. So, it's definitely wanted here with a 2 or a 3. And I kind of forgot all the sums we said here. But they were, you know, there's just digits that summed to either 7 or 8. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm tremendously slow on this puzzle. Oh my gosh, it's after 10 o'clock. You know what that means. We have to switch to Sudoku ASMR mode because it's obviously too late to be speaking loudly. I share a thin wall. I'm in my office, also known as a closet, and I will say, when I moved into this apartment, I incorrectly assumed that my neighbor to the... Oh, what direction is that? My neighbor to the north, I incorrectly assumed that their apartment was configured such that I shared this wall with the closet. That is not true. I share this wall. They have a studio apartment, so it's very likely that their bed is right on the other side of this wall. And they seem to be like they stay up a little later. Seems like I have new neighbors now. They gave me a treat, actually. So I don't want to disturb them. But maybe they will enjoy like Sudoku ASMR voice. Who can say? One of the things I want to think about a little bit, and only a very little bit, is just the composition of these cages. We said we're aiming for a 16, a 25, or 27 seem to be our only options here. A 16, 25, or 27. Just trying to think if immediately any restrictions jump out into my mind from that. And the answer is no. Don't like immediately have any mental restriction. Maybe I do want to think around here. Yeah, the binary wants to look over here. And it seems reasonable to me. Got a lot of cagey digits in these two rows. This box is so cagey. It really seems like we should be thinking about this box, right? It's just so cagey. Yeah, look, I see tomatoes flying. It's like an extremely cagey box. Knowing that there's really only 3 options here, I think. No, yeah, there's only 3 options. Because you can't have 1 or 4. This could be 9 or 16. The the 16 situation would be pretty constrained. And or it can be 9, 16, or 8, I believe are our options in here. It's not a 4 because we don't have the 1. 9, 16, 25 is much too large for 2. Yeah, so I'm going to say 9, 16, or 8. Still feels like there's a lot of options there, though. Like, kind of too many. Oh, except it can't be 16. Because the only way it could be 16, that's interesting. I should have seen that already. The only way this could be 16 is if this was 9, 7, and that's ruled out by this 8, 9 pair and this 7. So this actually sums to 9 or 8. I think. Problem, as I've mentioned before, is there's 12 billion ways to make 9 or 8 in Sudoku. We could think a little bit, just knowing the digits we have yet to place. That bummer is No, we couldn't, actually. I was thinking about where the sister of this goes, and it doesn't go in here because it couldn't be 8, 1 summing to 9. So the sister of this digit is in here. So that's kind of interesting. So that does let us rule out 8 and 9 and 1 in the options in here. Still feels like there's a lot of options, right? I guess knowing that this sums to 9 or 8, is that some way helpful? I guess so. It does put an 8 or a 9 in here for sure, but not both. So that means that the options here are what could this be? It's 3 digits that have an 8 or a 9 in them. For sure. Is that only 16? Is that true? Didn't we do that logic up here? I'm fearful that there's some other thing it could be. Couldn't it still be 1, 2, 6 equals 9? No, I'm sorry. Of course not. No, we've said there's an 8 or a 9 in here. So it's definitely less than, it's no more than 25, but the minimum would be, I guess 9, 1, 2 would be 12. So we need up here between 12 and 25 is only 16, I think. So what does that tell us? It tells us this is 8 or 9. It tells us this is 16, meaning there's definitely not a 7 in here, right? Because that means if this is 16 and has an 8 or 9, then once again, it's 2 digits that sum to either... No, in this case, we could have a 7, right? Because we could still have the 1. It's 2 digits that sum to either 7 or 8. But couldn't it still be 917? 917 would make this 8, 6, 4, 3. Leaving 2, 5 in here, which do not sum to a appropriate digit. Sorry, I just want to think through that again. I'm sure there's an easier way to see this. If I was trying to put a 7 in here, if I was trying desperately to put a 7 in here, it would be, I think the only way I could have a 7 in here. 9 plus 7 is already 16, but 8 plus 1 plus 7. But if I do 8, 1, 7, that's a 9, that's a 6, that's a 4, that's a 3, and this is 5, 2, and that does not sum to a square. So I don't think there's a 7 in here. So this, but there could be a 6. So maybe that was a useless thing to think about. But it does seem that this ends up with a similar situation where I need to make 8 or 9 in 2 digits. Sorry, 7. Oh boy. 7 or 8 in 2 digits. So the 8 or 9 is going to be in there. And then I have to make 7 or 8 in 2 digits. Which, a lot of ways to do that. And this is 8 or 9. I'm sorry, I'm missing some obviousness here, I'm sure. Wait, sorry. 1, 3, 1, 4, no 1. There's thousands of ways to create a 9. Tens of millions. of what? Well, it's 7 or 8 that I have to create in here. So I have an 8 or a 9 in here, and then I have to, if it's a 9, I have to create 7 in 2 digits, which is only, well, which is 6, 1, 5, 2, or 3, 4. If it is an 8, which one did I just do? I'm sorry. If it's a 9, I have to create a 7, which is 6, 1, 5, 2, or 3, 4. So 9 would go with 6, 1, 5, 2, or 3, 4. 3, 4 is not allowed because that would break this because we'd end up with double 1. So the 7 would have to be 6, 1, or 5, 2, which would make that a 7, a 4. 6, 1 would make that 7, 4, 3. 5, 2 would have no bearing on these. If it's an 8, then I need to make 8 into, sorry, if it's an 8, I need to make 8 in 2 digits, which is 7, 1, 5, 3, or 6, 2. Still feels like a lot. No, it's fine. I get it. It's like, I'm sure it's obvious. I'm sure I'm missing something obvious here. So this isn't, but I do feel comfortable. It's, okay, here's what I'm going to say. I think this is a 16. The problem is I don't know if this is an 8 or a 9, but I do know that 8 or 9 is not in it, which is a little bit interesting. Because so that at least rules out 8, 1, summing to 9. Oh, wait, whoa, from here there's definitely no 1. Actually, certainly no 1. There's definitely no 1 in here. And the 8 or 9 isn't in here. So there's not 8 or 9 or 1 in here. But still, if it were an 8, we could still be 6, 2, or 5, 3. And if it were 9, we could be 7, 2, or 5, 4, or 6, 3. Yeah, that could still be 5, 4 if it was the 9. And that would be 1, and that would be 3. There's got to be something here, right? What am I missing? You definitely do not have a 1. I think there's a lot. I think it's more than you think. If I actually put them in, I think almost every digit would be in this cage. Unfortunately. Yeah, there can only be 9. That's true. We'll just write all 9 digits in. I mean, maybe there's something that can't be in here. If it's an, like, for example, if this is 8, then 4 is definitely not in here, but I don't know. I don't think I know that this is 8. I do know that this is 16. So I guess we could try to add these up, and this is annoying though, because this could be 1 with one of those digits, or it could be a 4, 3. If there wasn't a 1 here, there would definitely be a 1 in here. Is that worth thinking about? I feel there's no 1 in here for sure. If there wasn't a 1 in one of these, there would definitely be a 1 in here. But that doesn't seem very hard. Like if it was 9, 1, 7, that doesn't seem to do any harm. I just am not seeing it, unfortunately. Do we know any other meaningful restrictions here? Well, this digit's sister is in here. Is that meaningful? One of your sisters is over here. One of your sisters is here, or here. This digit's down here. But I'm not sure that matters at this minute. The sister, we've said, I keep saying, and I don't know if I believe it, but I keep saying that 8 and 9 are not in here. But 8 or 9 could be here, but then the sister of this 8, 9 would have to be here or here. This digit we said is 16, 25 or 27. But I don't, it just doesn't like ring any bell. I mean, we could go through and do all the options, I guess, but it doesn't ring a bell. Wait, I'm supposed to be doing the Sudoku voice. I forgot. It's late. It's late at night. We have to do the Sudoku voice. Okay, I apologize. I'm just I'm a little unsure of the most fruitful place to look at the moment, honestly. Do we miss something very obvious, like some whispers logic or something? I don't think so. This is happy. Oh, that's 1 or 4. If this is 3, this is 4, and this is 1. This is either 2, 1, or it's 1, 3. One of those things is true. It's a 2 or a 3 here. The full sum of this is 16 plus 8 or 9. So 24 or 25. So that's 24 or 25. If these were all, just looking at, like, the biggest discrepancy is between these two, but that may not be enough leeway. Gosh, okay, I'm getting self-conscious that I'm taking too long here. I mean, we were able to rule out one of those. So let me just think about this one more time. If I put an 8 in here, then I need 2 digits to sum to 8. So that's going to be something, for example, like 8. And that would have to be like 8, 7, 1. I guess is how we would have to compose that. If I put 8 in here and I try to make it out of 7, 1, then I have 8, 7, 1, 9, 6, 4, 3, and I'm left with 5, 2, which is no good. So it's not 8, 7, 1. This just feels like not the way to do this. To go through and try to eliminate all these just sounds like... I think I can have a 1 in here, technically. Because this could be a 3, 4. There's definitely no 1 here. But I think it is still possible to have a 1 in here, if I do it right. Like, that in that case, it would very specifically have to be... the 8 and the 7 down here and the 1 up here, so it wouldn't be seen by this one. But I think that is still possible. It's just that this sum breaks that down. If it were 862, 862 is, it's much less restrictive in terms of telling us what actually goes in here though. 862 79 still puts a 5 over here, which would have to go with either a 3 or a 4, which checks out actually. That one seems like not bad. 8, but I feel like 853 is still, 853 tells us so little. Still lets us, the 2 is going to be in here, but the 2 can go with 6 or 7 to make 9. We will have eaten the 3 here, so that would be the 1 4, but that feels very plausible. Try to put a 9 in here. We need 2 digits summing to 7. So if it's 9 6 1, we get 8 7 3 4. So 9 6 1 8 7 3 4 also leaves 5 2 here, which is not valid. Wait, did I do that wrong? I'm sorry. 9 9 6 1 9 7 1. Did I do the exact same thing again? It's falling apart over here. It's getting hot in here too. Okay, I apologize. So, oh no, I missed the tomatoes. What did I miss? I mean, it does seem like this is important, right? Seems like I gotta think about this. Okay, I see tomatoes just flying on this whole situation. Oh, is that the point? If this sums to 8 or 9. This sums to... Oh, that's kind of weird. Do we have a similar... Okay, sorry. The whole point of this was trying to make 7 and 8 in 2 digits. Right? We were trying to make 7 or 8 in 2 digits. To go with the 8, 9 to make 16. Down here, we're trying to make 8 or 9 in 2 digits. 7 or 8 plus 8 or 9. So these 4 digits have to sum to 15, 16, or 17. If we minimize this, it's 9 plus 7. This is a 7 and that's an 8, which that's 15. But if we say that this is a 9 and this is the 9... Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, let me say that one more time. I'm sorry. This is 8. Yeah, right. This could be an 8 needing 8, and this could be 9, which would be 17. So these 4 digits must sum to 15, 16, or 17. So in 4 digits, we have to make 15, 16, or 17. Is that hard to do? Given what we have available to us? It doesn't seem that hard. Don't have a 1, actually. So is it a little harder than I think? That gives us 2, 3, 4, 5. So the minimum is, okay, without the 1, the minimum there is, I'm sorry, be quiet. The minimum is 14. And we have to make 15, 16, or 17. For it to be 16, they would both have to be 8s. Okay, let me think about that for a second. We don't have a 1, so our minimum is 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 15. which is 14, we have to make 15, 16, or 17. What does that mean? That doesn't seem that hard. 2, 3, 4, 5 is 14. 15, 16, 17. But can we make 17? Yeah, we can. It just means one has to sum to... It means this just has to sum to 9, and this has to sum to 8. That seems not unreasonable. Oh. Sorry. We can't have the 2 and the 3. We can't have the 1 at all. Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm getting this very slowly, extremely slowly, but maybe we're getting there. So we can't have the 2 and the 3. So 2, 3, 4, 5 is not a meaningful consideration. The minimum we can actually have is 2, 4. The minimum we can have is 17. Why didn't someone tell me this? Why did somebody tell me? Oh man, I love logic like this. I am embarrassed that that it's taken me this long to see it. That's embarrassing. Okay, let me just talk through this. 4 digits. We know that one of these is a 7 or 8, and one of them is 8 or 9. That means that we're looking for a recipe that is going to make these either 7, 8, or 8, 8, or 8, 9. 7, 8 is added together is 15. 8, 8 added together is 16. 8, 9 added together is 17, right? So we need a recipe, a 4-digit recipe that gives us 15, 16, or 17. We cannot include a 1 in that recipe. So I was looking at 2, because 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, a 4-digit recipe gives us 10. So that's not helpful. But knowing we don't have a 1, I was considering 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, which is 14, which is a little more helpful, but not as helpful. But I can't have 2 and 3. So not only can I have 1, I can only choose one of these digits to be mine. And even if I choose the lowest one, it's 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 17, which is the maximum our recipe allows. So that means that these 4 digits are, what did I say? 2 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 to make 17, which means there's no 2 here. So this is, I don't remember, 1, 3 with the 4, and that means this is the 5 with the 1 with the 2. And we're ruling 5 entirely out of this, which means we also have to rule 3 entirely out of this, which gives us the 2 and the 6, which we know gives us the 3 here, the 6 here, the 4 here. So that's all very exciting. Ruling. So, and we said we have to aim for 17 because we said that's all our recipe will allow for, meaning that this has to sum to 9. Meaning I can't have a 6 here at all, because 6 is not gonna, I can't have a 3, so there's no 6 here. There's no 7 here, so I can't have the 2. So this is a 4, 5 summing to 9. This has to sum to 8, and I have ruled out the 4, 5, so I get the 6, 2. 4, 5 is ruling the 4 out of here, so this is one of our high digits. This we know is the 3, 5, summing to 8. Wait, Blobz, what are you telling me? Did I do that right? I hope I did that right. Blobz is already impatient. I feel like I had a late breakthrough and Blobz is already trying to get me. See, Blobz is already trying to tell me the next thing. I'm still dealing with I'm still dealing with repercussions of my previous deduction. There's no 2 here, but I think that's okay. Okay. Blobz doesn't have time for this. Why did I say there couldn't be a 7, 2 in here? Oh, because of this. That's why. I feel like there's one too many digits in here. I'm not exactly sure why. This can't be a 6 because this can't be a 3. That's what it is. Well, what is the 6 going to add with? Did I screw something up? Wait, that wasn't right. I'm sorry. This can't be a 6 because there's no 3 up here. But this still could be 3 plus 6 equals 9. Or 5 plus 3 equals 8. Or 4 plus 5 equals 9. So I think that's reasonable. Okay, we got a 5, 6 pair here. What else do we know about life? We knew something about what? We knew the 4 was going to head up here, right? And we knew the 3 was going to, or the 3's here. Who was going to come up and live up here? It was the 2. I don't remember knowing that, but that appears to be true. That this is a 1, 2 pair. I think I didn't say that correctly earlier, actually. Okay. I can't believe how long it took me to get through that. I apologize. But we got it. We got it. This 4, 5 is going to make this a 1. Which is reasonable because that's both a cube and a square. So this, the composition of this, what is left over? There's definitely a 2 in here. And there's definitely an 8 or a 9 and a 6 or a 7. So the 2 is, what are we trying to do here? 16. So we need 2 digits to sum to 15, which is obnoxious. Because that could be 9 plus 6 or 7 plus 8. Either of those would be fine. Maybe. 7, 8, 2 would mean that had to be a 2. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Is that worth recording? And then, so it's either, it's 2 with 6, 9 or 7, 8, right? Two, 6 plus 9 or 7 plus 8. Oh, did I screw something up? Those tomatoes in the face. What did I do wrong? Oh, wait, did I say it wrong? I'm sorry. What did I say? It's 16. It's 2 plus 14. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. 2 plus 14. Thanks. 2 plus 14, which is, oh, well, then that's fine. Okay, I'm sorry, Blobz. See, I'm falling apart. Like, my ability to do very basic arithmetic evaporates on these streams. So that is better, because just like there's only 2 ways to make 15, there's only 2. Why are there lyrics? No. Hate it. Drives me crazy. Okay. This is a 16. This is not a 17. I don't know why I had my mind 17. Anyway, it's 16 minus 2 is 14. And 14 in 2 digits is either 6, 8 or 9, 5. And the 5's not available. So this is the 9. This is 2, 6, 8. The 8 is, sorry, the 6 is not here. So the 6 is here. The 7's there. 6, 8. Roll the 8 out of here. 2, 8 there. That checks out. There's a 9 down here. Anything? Feels like we should know more about the universe. We're missing what? Just 7, 8, 9, I guess. How embarrassing not even be able to do arithmetic on stream. Now I'm worried that I'm missing some polarity thing that's going to help me here because I got rid of my coloring. And everyone knows it's impossible to do German whispers without colors. Does anyone remember what this summed to? Because I don't. We said it had to sum to 16, 25, or 27, I think is what we said. Because it's a minimum 10, maximum 30. And between 10 and 30, we only have 16, 25, and 27. But it's got a high digit in it. We already have a 1 here. So if this was somehow 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 7, does that equal 16? How annoying. Wait, really? I was using that to try to prove that it couldn't be 16, but I think I just proved that it could be 16. Well, how about that? Okay, I'm sorry, I see things flying around. So, what do we know about anything? I know tomatoes are flying left and right. I'm just thinking. Sorry, I should narrate better. But what I'm thinking about is like I saw tomatoes fly to the outside of this cage. I'm just sort of thinking about the composition of this cage versus the like digits that can fly out here. Fly. Digits that can reside out here. And I'm struggling. I'm sure it's obvious. This is embarrassing when I feel like I just cannot find something. I was hoping that I was just looking for something to get forced inside here, but I definitely miss it. I don't look at those tomatoes just flying at me. Oh. Why am I like this? I'm just going to excuse myself by saying tired. Do you remember the whole reason we did this math? Blobz does. Whoever's throwing tomatoes remembers the entire point of this. The full reasoning for this was, the only reason we knew anything about this, in fact, was because of this digit. Because everyone knows dark green equals 16. And this is 8. So what is this? How do I miss things like that I talk about at length and then just... It's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. Which finally unfurls this. That's exciting. I'm just looking at the wrong thing. I don't know. I'm getting very fatigued. I'm feeling fatigue. Basic arithmetic will really slow you down. Blobz, I'm making a mockery of this puzzle. I apologize. Okay, so this 9 is either a 4 or 5 pair or this 6 with this 3. Who knows? It could be anything. Do we learn anything more from that? What do we learn down here? Wait, did I mess up again? Oh my gosh. Why am I am just getting this wrong. Like, what am I doing? I'm falling apart. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I like screw this logic up a long time ago then? I'm very embarrassed. I feel like I'm usually bad on these streams, but this is extra bad. I'm sorry. These sum to 16. I don't know why I'm treating these like region sums or something. I keep wanting these to be region sums, but they're or something like that. I don't know why. We're trying to sum to 16 here. Good grief. What is going on with me? So this, oh boy. Then did I break the puzzle somehow? Did I screw up somewhere? No, because it can still be 3, 4. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're trying to make 16 with 8 plus, that is 16. This is 9. I don't know why I'm treating this like it's a region sum or something. I was thinking this was 9. It's not. We have to have a 7 here to make 16, which I spoke at length about a short time ago, I'm sure. Oh my gosh. So this is 4, 3. Blobz, I apologize. This puzzle is clever and smooth, and I'm just missing very obvious things. I think this thing was a little tricky. You know, that definitely, I think, deserved some thought, but I'm missing just tremendously obvious things tonight. It's very embarrassing. What an embarrassment. What a debacle. Yeah, I know. I should hide my head in shame for that. I don't know why. I don't know. I do think I have a problem where if I do a certain kind of puzzle for a while, that logic gets stuck in my brain. And I guess I've been doing a fair number of region sum puzzles, and I don't know why. That's the only reason I can think of that I keep screwing these things up. Although this made no sense either, why I thought that was a 17. I just don't know. Don't know the answer. So we're gonna end up with a triple here of 6, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let's see spot things. Why are there lyrics? That's the problem. That's why I can't concentrate. I know. I do need it. I've got to finish it. I've got to finish the fault reset. It's close. Really the thing that's holding me back is like I would like to document it well, but those things take time. Okay. So we've got quite a bit of pressure in here. So we need the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 7. 4 7's knocked out here. So we get a 2 3 pair, which I should have seen before. I don't know why I just didn't do it that way, but here we are. And 4 7. And we need these two digits to sum to a square or a cube. And in 2 cells, we've said we only have well, document in terms of like document it like it's I basically added nothing to my portfolio this year. I need to document it in terms of art documentation, like documenting it in terms of like a project that exists in the world. Okay, 2 3 4 7, and these digits need to sum to either 9 or 8 or 16, I think is what we said the optionality for these 3 cell cages. So 9 looks possible with the 7 2. 8 looks less possible. 16 is impossible. So I think this is an 8 or a 9. But now I'm terrified that I'm going to miss some option here. But 4 plus 2 or 3 is not valid. So this is a 7. Excuse me. 7 and a 2. I hope that's right. I feel like I really have... I don't know. And one, I feel like I've been doing a bad job on this puzzle, but I feel like I say that on every single puzzle. So maybe I'm just bad at Sudoku. Could be. Could be. Okay, so that's exciting. We've put some pressure on these cages. They're still daunting. Still feeling daunted. We still have this German whisper kind of lurking around. Must mean the 9's over here. But we need a low digit and a high digit to live over here. Who's it gonna be? Don't know that we really know. Here's 7 or 8. 9's not available, so 4's not on this line. And, oh, that's interesting. That's cool. I like that. Blobz, that's great. A simple little thing, but I love it. 9 is not on here, so 4 is not on here, and 4's not here, so this is the 4. Oh, this is a cute little, what a cute little thing. So the 4 is going to live up in the sky. It lives over here. 8 lives in here somewhere. 3. Thinking about the 6 and the 1, which kind of sort of seem possible. I mean, the 1's definitely over here. Do I know where the 6 is? Not really. Well, but I still don't know that I understand what your software, what you work on. Like, what do you do all day? What are you writing in Python and Java? Okay, I'm gonna resort to some pencil marking. 3, 4, 5, 8. 3, 4, 5, 8. 3 is fully rolled out, and then 4, 8 here. So that only a 5. That's nice. So you're not a 5. A 5 over here. So we've kept a 5 out of this cage. I don't remember what we said this cage was going to sum to. Nobody remembers. I think we said it was going to sum to 16, 25, or 27 in both of these cases. Definitely 8 in this cage. Which makes, for some reason, makes 16 feel a little unlikely to me, but it's certainly not. Ah, see, whenever I hear Java, I feel like legacy is coming. Like, just doesn't feel. I don't have an answer. I'm not like I like C# reasonably well, and obviously do a ton of work in it for Unity, but. And it's very Java-y in a lot of ways. There's lots of Java-ness. Not exactly in the Java family tree, but they're not far away from each other in the C family tree, I think. I never liked Java though, personally. But I think I did, Java in my mind, I'm still thinking back like late 90s, where it was so outrageously slow, like so painfully slow. I guess hardware eventually caught up with it. There's certainly a 3 down here. Unit tests. It was written in 2015. No one was. Unit tests weren't invented yet. I don't know if that's true. I don't live in a world where unit tests are really meaningful. Since I, like games and interactive, unit tests are not. You could certainly argue that certain parts of what I do would probably benefit from unit tests, but they're extremely short timelines or complex, like interactive experiences that just doesn't feel super valuable. I did write a few for Heat. One day we got to revisit Heat. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting chatty and I'm tired. So let's maybe start to actually think about these a little. Maybe. There's absolutely a 9 in here. So this is not 16, certainly, because the 9 in here, even if this is minimized, is going to prevent, 9 plus 7 is already 16. So this is definitely either 25 or 27. And this, we're already at 16. So what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know what it means. That's fair. And also, like, hardware, at that time, hardware, at least certainly the hardware I had access to, just was not feasible to run complex applications in Java, but it's a long time ago. I'm sorry. I feel like my brain is fully shutting down. I don't have strong anti-Java opinions personally. Just seems like the world has moved in different places. Certainly a 2 up here. Man, I apologize. I think I'm just getting sleepy. I don't know why this puzzle is giving me so much difficulty. It's the basic math of it that is just, it's an outrage to have to deal with, frankly. It's also getting very warm in here. Okay, should I actually try to use my brain for 1 second? What would it tell me? If my brain was agreeable, we have said there's absolutely an 8 in here, right? That isn't up here. I'm curious about this, because this is already 14. So this is also not 16, I guess, is a fair assessment, right? Because 8 plus 6, I see stuff flying around. A Spark instance. I don't know what that. Wait, Spark? Is that another Apache thing? Can't keep track of all this stuff. It sounds like, yeah, large scale data analytics. That sounds like a binary C thing. Okay. I'm slightly curious about where 1 goes. If like it is possible to have a 1 in here. Because I think I'm telling you that this is not a 16 cage, right? Because this. No, easily. Well, no, there's definitely an 8 in here for sure. So there's 8 and 7. So we're already at 15. Now it's 8 and 6. We're already at 14. But we still have 2 other digits, which at a minimum would be another 3, right? So that'd be 17. So this is absolutely not a 16 cage. Also, in addition to that statement, what else? Certainly an 8 in here. There is definitely a 4 in here. Right? So we're definitely already at 12. So at 12, So we're at 18 or 19. So, and we need to hit 25 or 27. Right? I hope what I'm saying is true. We've already accounted for 12 in here. We only get an additional 6 or 7 here, which has us at 18 or 19. So certainly 1 is here. We're at 12. 18 or 19. And our options are, well, I guess we can think of it this way. If the 9 is out here, then we have 12 with a 6-7 pair, which is 13, which sums to 25, which is one of our magic digits. If instead we have 12, this is really annoying. If we have 12, well, no, wait, we can't have a 6-7 pair in here. It's forbidden. So this digit's sister is over here. So this is a 9. So this is a 4, 8, 9. Right? And 4 plus 8 plus 9 is 21. So we're not going to make the 25, but to make the 27, we need a 6. I hope I did that right. I feel like I'm going to miss some extremely basic arithmetic at this point. Like, yeah, Blobz is going to be like 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, not 19. And I'm going to be so embarrassed. So up here, we have a 4, 8, 9 triple here. So we do get the 9 over here, which is cool. That means over here we just need, what, a 2 and a 6? And over here we just need a 1, a 5, and what? 3? Okay. So we did get, what? What did we get out of this? 27? Yeah, because it's 17 plus 10, so we get 27. So 27, everyone knows, is a red number. Obviously. And that means down here, we need the other part of our 8, 9, and we're also missing what? 5? That's not a 9. This is too many options. It's making me upset. We know there's a 9 in here, though. And a 7. So we're already at 16. So if we're already at 16, then we need to find either 9 or 11 digits in the remaining 2 cages. Or 11 digits in the remaining 2 pages. Oh, wait, do we still not know what's going on with this? Seems hard to believe. This is a 6-1. There's 7, 8, and 9 out here. Well, how about that? And we know the order. That's not what I expected that to be. I'm just as surprised as you are. That's a 6-1. Anything to make me not have to think about this arithmetic, I'm excited about. How come no? How about, like, can we do it like a trigonometry puzzle? Just anything other than basic arithmetic, because I'm incapable of it. Okay. Who goes up here? 4 and what? 4, 3? here is a 5, 7. Which knocks that 5 out, which is interesting. Blobz, I know, I can't, this is 141 minutes off. It should not be this long. Oh well. The 3, 4, 5, 8. It just makes me feel like I'm like doing a disservice to your puzzles. When no, that's not true. That wasn't true. Because this could be a 2 as well. Wait, let me reconsider this. What can this actually be? 4, 9. 2, 4, 9 is what it can actually be, right? That's not what's placed here, and this is not the 9. Your product, little killer. I don't remember, Skojo. Yeah, Blobz, I always love your puzzles. I just feel embarrassed when I miss things that are obvious, and I feel extra embarrassed when I make some stupid mistake, like 16 minus 2. Not getting that, or not getting this. Like, just get a little distracted on stream, you know? This is 2, 4, 9. So we need to make these digits sum up to synesthesia. There's so binary. I wouldn't normally describe myself as a synesthete, but one of Blob's puzzles, it's not even color. There was something about, it was an oil and water puzzle where water was odd and oil was even, and that sounds fundamentally wrong to me, and I can't describe to you why. Like, something, you know, I know lots of people have some synesthetic notion that, like, oh, 4s are always purple and the letter B is always green, or whatever it is, but somehow it felt like a counter to the workings of the universe that oil would be even. It just doesn't sound right. I don't know why. But I still made fewer mistakes in that puzzle than I've made in this one, which is a shock to say. Okay, we are trying to do what? We are trying to make a 25 or 27 out of this, I think is what we're trying to do. And we know there's a 9 and we know there's a 7. So then we need to make, with the remaining digits, an 11, because we're at 16. We have to make 11, and we have to make 9 or 11 with the digits in here that are not 9. I'm struggling here. So 2 is not reasonable to put in here, right? Because if we did do 8-9 pair with the 7, that would be 24. If we tried to do this 2, sorry, another way to say that is 7, 8, 9. If we maximize what we could be put in here, 7, 8, 9 would be 24, and plus 2 would only be 26. So 2 is not allowed in this cage, right? Because we're trying to get to 25 or 27. And 2 forces us to land on 26. And there's not another way to do that, right? I don't have a 6, so I can't back off 1. I'm afraid I'm missing something with that, but I believe that's to be true. This is a 2. This is definitely a 9. And then we're at 18. So in these 3 digits, if we were at 18, we would have to have a 7 or a 9 in here, and we can't. So this is a 2. This is not a 2. That gives us the 8 and the 2 down here. Gives us the 5 here. Knocks 8 out of here, which means there is an 8 and a 9 in here. Right? So we do have 7 plus 8 plus 9 is 24, which we can't add with a 1 to make 25, so we need to add a 3 to make 27. So there's definitely a 3 in here, a 4, a 9, 8, 4, 3. We end with a 3 in the corner. Oh wait, what did I forget? What did I not fill in? Oh, over here. Oh my gosh. Somehow I just did not even see that behind the red. That's funny. My brain didn't even process that. Oh my gosh. Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you for your patience too. That was like, it's just embarrassing to falter. So I'm gonna blame it on being a little dehydrated, you know. But it was great. I really liked it. I did like I know, gosh, I barely got there, I feel like. I really liked, this interplay was interesting. I'm embarrassed that it took me so long to really wrap my head around, but it was interesting to see this limitation, which obviously I should have just breezed right through this once landing this. It's embarrassing that very silly. I really liked the simplicity of this. This just came very effortlessly. Like the 4 was blown away immediately. Placing this 4, that was really nice. So we actually didn't end up with we really only had 8s and 9s and 27s in the big cages, although I guess we did end up with some 1s. We never got a 36. Did we get everything else? I don't think so. We never got a 4 alone, did we? Okay, that was an embarrassment. What a debacle. But it was fun. It was very nice. And I'm just realizing that my colors do kind of complement the... oh, we did get a 4 right in the middle. Good grief. My colors kind of complement the candy colors in the background, which was not intentional, but maybe it was some subliminal, some subliminal influence pushing me to reds and shades of green. What an embarrassment. I should try to make something on stream again. Blobz is very keen, understandably, to have like positive and negative tomatoes, which seems important. Feels critical. I don't think I ever, I did do that. We do have the ability to add modifier clicks. So those could be lemons, which everyone knows. Blobz actually had it incorrect. It depends on if you ask like a botanist or a farmer, but Blobz thinks that tomatoes are good and lemons are bad. But tomatoes, when life gives you tomatoes, you make ketchup, which is gross. But when life gives you lemons, you make lemonades, which is delicious. And that is why lemons are fundamentally positive and tomatoes are fundamentally negative. And tomatoes are also fruit. Are tomatoes a berry? Basically everything you think is a berry is not a berry. But everything you think isn't a berry is. Like Is an eggplant a berry? I can't keep up with these things. The world's changing fast. Strawberries aren't berries. Big Indian or little Indian? I have never had to. I just go with the flow on that. I'm trying to think of any time that I've ever been in a position to determine that. But I don't think I've ever designed anything where I had to make that determination. It's usually just me like reading documentation of whatever I'm working on. That is true. Do you think binary, that's why? Like, you can show your displeasure with a tomato, but you're very unlikely to kill someone. If someone threw grapes at me, I would think they just wanted me to catch it in my mouth. I don't know that grapes are never insulting. Grapes are always a pleasure. Why are there words here? Cabbages. I feel like cabbages are underappreciated in this country. I feel like the US has an underappreciation for cabbage. I should go get some sauerkraut right now. To boil some cabbage, but then your house smells like boiled cabbage. That's the problem. I like cabbage, but nobody wants a house that smells like boiled cabbage. I like a cabbage. This morning out at the farmer's market, I had love cauliflower. I'm very pro cruciferous vegetables, and largely because I like the term cruciferous. Love broccoli. Probably broccoli is one of my favorite foods. This morning at the farmer's market, I had some kind of Chinese bun, savory bun with cabbage in it. It was a pleasure. Okay, yes, get out of here. Everybody, it's bedtime. Actually, right when you said that, my new watch just told me it's bedtime. Okay, everyone go to bedtime. I apologize for the clumsiness of the puzzle. Next time, Blobz, I'm going to nail it. You'll see. Next time on the puzzle, it's going to be amazing. Okay, good night.